Well, good morning. Instead of my walk in the woods, it's a walk on the UW hospital campus. So we're here for a PET scan this morning, and we're hoping things are well. Sabina hasn't had a lot of any more pain in her neck. So they're going to take a look and see what the growth has been over the last 6 weeks. And hopefully we're looking for a good outcome here. It's a windy day here. Still hear birds here, even though we're not in the woods. So I want to talk about a topic here that will probably transport you back to high school or first year at university, and that your philosophy class of social contract. You know, John Locke and Thomas Hobbes and Rousseau and those folks who delved into, how it is that we are to live to one another. That's that social contract. And in order to have that social contract, we've got to give up certain things. I can't drive as fast as I want and veer in different lanes and things because I have a social contract about how we're going to drive cars together. And if I live in the city, I've got to maintain my property and cut my lawn. And remember, no shirt, no shoes, no service. Well, that's part of that social contract. But it becomes much more deeper, and that is, what is our contract with the government? How much authority are we willing and control are we willing to accept given the situation so we can live better together? I think that's where we are being challenged. And it's a very big challenge. And I was talking to a number of clergy yesterday from Minneapolis, and they were wondering, how do they go forward? And I think when I talk about reimagining the police, I think what I'm talking about is reimagining that social contract. What are the situations in which we want police to intervene? The social contract is part of our forming an elected government and making laws and rules for behavior. And when people violate those things, there are certain sanctions, some of which may involve physical arrest and may involve a fine or even being imprisoned for a period of time. Even in some states, taking a person's life through the death penalty. But what is it and how is it that we want our police to act? And when I talk about reimagining the police, maybe that's what we need to do right now. And reimagining the police means, what is that contract? When do we want an armed police officer to show up? We had a social contract back in the 70s which said we put police into the schools to help kids get diverted out of the criminal justice system because the system harmed them. So we need to divert kids. And somehow that got morphed into the situation we have today, where police are there to help discipline the students, to maintain order in the schools. So that got morphed over the years to something that it wasn't. And police officers, instead of wearing blazers in the schools, putting themselves as a kind of a teacher helper in there, they started wearing uniforms and having all kinds of paramilitary gear. And I think sending the wrong message. So if we're going to move forward today, I think we're going to have to reimagine that and rewrite that social contract between us, we the people, and the police whom we hire to enforce our social contract. And of course, primary above that, primary is when police will use deadly force to stop somebody. What is the sanctity of life? How important is it? And are there ways other than extinguishing a life to keep us safe and orderly? Well, have a good day. I'll sit here and do a little work outside the hospital and clinics. And I think good thoughts as Sabina goes through that PET scan. She's got about 3 hours of examinations. So, brothers and sisters, have a great day. God's blessings.